हाँ हुआ, इट टेक्स सम टाइम, वो उसमें भी टीम्स में भी यही प्रॉब्लम है. ओके, so I think now the class is getting recorded, so we missed that, but we will repeat it in this follow up exam. Okay, so everybody, we want to solve this example using a data table. Okay, those who were there, you build the data table. For others, I will show the steps once. Okay, those who have joined in now, I will show the steps. But first, let me explain the case. We have a simple forecasting example. You have sales for the first year as 1000 and cost as 800, and second year you want to estimate the profit. How are you going to estimate the profit? Sales growth for year 2 is 10% and cost as a percent for year 2 is 80%. तो सेकंड ईयर में आपका सेल 10% से बढ़ने वाला है एंड जो भी आपका सेल होगा उसका 80% आपका होगा कॉस्ट. तो आपका प्रॉफिट कितना है ये आपको निकालना है. तो व्हाट यू डू इज मेक यूज ऑफ सेल रेफरेंसिंग एंड टेल मी प्रॉफिट फॉर ईयर 2. बिल्ड द फॉर्मूला. आप फॉर्मूला लगाइए और मुझे बताइए सेकंड ईयर का प्रॉफिट कितना है. प्रॉफिट डायरेक्टली ईयर 2 का प्रॉफिट आप मुझे बताइए. नहीं प्रॉफिट, हाँ नहीं use referencing. Okay, remember last time we have done cell referencing. Make use of referencing, make an attempt, tell me the profit for year 2. Yeah, take your time, there is no hurry. No, 220 is correct. 220 profit. Cost as a percent of sale means 100 rupees का सेल है तो 80 रुपया आपका कॉस्ट है. वट एवर इज योर सेल फॉर ईयर 2 उसका आप which means data table. Yes, data table is very useful tool especially for decision making. Okay, let's but the first logic has to be correct, otherwise garbage is garbage. One logic, yes. So sales, let's do it on screen. Sales is expected to grow by 10%. Okay, now this growth formula will be used n number of times while making models. तो ग्रोथ फॉर्मूला आप एक बार ही समझ के याद रख लीजिए. व्हाट आर वी सेइंग, 10% से सेल इंक्रीज होगा, मींस लास्ट ईयर जितना सेल है उतना तो होगा ही, प्लस 10% होगा. बट 10% किसका? तो लास्ट ईयर के सेल का. Therefore, sales for the next year will be 1100. If you are getting the answer in percent, change the format to number. Sometimes Excel by default gives a percentage format. जनरली नंबर फॉर्मेट ही होता है, बट कभी कभार आ जाता है परसेंट फॉर्मेट, तो वो नंबर विल लुक वेरी बिग, 11,000% समथिंग लाइक दैट इट विल लुक. तो वो आप सिर्फ नंबर फॉर्मेट चेंज करें. हाउ टू चेंज द नंबर फॉर्मेट? गो टू होम एंड इन द ड्रॉप डाउन मेनू चेंज इट बैक टू नंबर. देन कॉस्ट इज 1100 का 80%. कॉस्ट इज 80% ऑफ 1100. Sales as a percent of, sorry, cost as a percent of sales. Till here, everybody, are we done? Last there, true, clear. Online students, have you got the value?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So sale minus cost is profit. So 220 is my estimated profit for year 2. Now what we want, this sales growth can change. Instead of 10%, it can degrow, minus 5%, or no growth at all. Instead of 80%, the cost can be 50, 60, 78. Okay. For different combination, what will be the different values of profit for year 2? That you find using data table. So you populate. So step 1 is done. सैंपल कैलकुलेशन तो हमने कर दिया है. अब आप बाकी के स्टेप्स फॉलो कीजिए और मुझे कॉर्नर सेल का आंसर बताइए. How much should the answer be in? 120. 120 is correct. Good. Follow the steps of data table. Those who joined in now, let me show the steps again. Okay. Step 1 is create sample calculation. तो हमें यहाँ चाहिए क्या? सेकेंड ईयर का एस्टिमेटेड प्रॉफिट चाहिए. तो वो कैसे निकालना है वो हमने सैंपल क्रिएट कर लिया. ओके. स्टेप 2, link left corner cell to the output that you want. Whatever you want in the data table here, link it in the left corner cell. Step 2 is equal to that out. So that basically you can have lots of logical steps you can write. आप 10 पेज का एनालिसिस करके फाइनल आउटपुट वो कॉर्नर के सेल में डाल दीजिए. It will still work. Okay. So you don't need to calculate everything in this. Okay, that is the key. Okay. Step 3, select the entire table from left top corner. So basically we are defining the array. Select the entire range, starting from the corner cell to where the row ends to where the column. Now remember, don't select something like that, because then inputs and outputs are going wrong. So we exactly start from the left corner cell and select the entire range. Then go to data, what if analysis, data table. Step 4, data, what if analysis, data table. And then Excel will ask row and column input. What is there in this row? We have sales growth. Where is this same number in the sample calculation? C6. We are just creating a one-to-one mapping. Row में हमने लिखा है sales growth, sample में sales growth कहाँ है? C1 में, sorry C6 में. Similarly, keep cursor in column. Column input में है cost as a percent से, sample में है यहाँ. And then say OK. All answers will get populated as shown. Okay. Match your steps. Done. So this is one tool that we will again need. And the last thing that we want in Excel is if statement. Okay. So let's make use of the if statement next. Got it, everyone? Should we proceed? Online students, have you got it till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay. So now come to page number 12. Many times we will have to write some conditional logic in Excel. Okay. How to write a conditional logic in Excel? We'll make use of the if statement. Now the if statement works this way. When you write is equal to if and open the bracket, the first thing Excel will ask for is test. What is the logic that you want to test? So when it means test, that means you will have to necessarily use greater than, less than or equal to sign. Some kind of condition you will have to put. What if the condition comes out to be true? तो अगर true है condition तो क्या output चाहिए? That is what you define in the second part. And if the condition is false, then what should the output be? That is what you define in the third part. Logical test, true value and false value. These are the three inputs that if will take, it won't take any more inputs beyond this. Okay. So at a time, one if condition can only give you two outputs. Okay. एक if condition में आपको दो ही output मिल सकते हैं. So yeah. But filter is not dynamic. So what basically, if I have several sheets having the same thing, you will have to keep on putting up the filter or several data points. And if you want to put more logic, so we will see how higher logic would be. So filter is not a formula approach. Why you want a formula approach is you do one analysis, it gives you output, that output becomes input to the next analysis, and that's how the logical flow of things can be created. Now let's try to write this if condition in a example. Let's say I have marks, names of the students, these are their marks, and our grade criteria is pass or fail. If marks is less than 35 fail, marks are more than 35 pass. Now you can think about the if statement using a tree. Okay, so the tree is only for our conceptual clarity. Tree सिर्फ हमारे concept के लिए है. The statement will be written in a horizontal line. Okay, so step 1 क्या है? You want to put a logic. So we will check if marks of the student are less than 35. Let's say if this comes out to be true, So less than 35 means the grade should be fail. So we will, so true output should be fail. And what if it is more than 35? That is the condition is false. The false output should be pass. Now fail and pass are English words to be added in a formula. So the way Excel treats English words is using a string operator which needs to be put up in double quotes. Okay, don't put two single quotes. Shift and single quote will give you a double quote option. Okay, so condition, value if true, value if false. The tree only helps you bring conceptual clarity. Okay, ट्री का सिर्फ आपको कंडीशन इमेजिन करने में, मॉडल करने में आसानी पड़ता है. Okay, but statement will actually be written in a line. So let's write the same condition as per the tree. If marks are less than 35, then fail, else pass. And then close double quotes, close the bracket, and then copy paste the formula. All answers will be as shown. Everybody write the syntax once and then tell me once we are done. फिर अगले complicated part में चलते हैं थोड़ा. Page number 12. We are working on page number 12. Okay, written down everyone. If condition. Now what if I changed? Yeah, sorry, correct. What if we change the grade logic? So right now we just have two outputs, pass and fail. And you know that in the if condition, true value, false value, दो ही output की जगह है. What if मैंने grade डाल दिया? Less than 35 fail, between 35 and 55 B grade, above 55 A grade. So now I have three outputs, A, B and fail. So in such a case, I cannot use a single if condition. I will have to use multiple if conditions. Okay, because one if condition cannot give me A, B and F. क्योंकि दो ही output देता है Excel. So the rule generally is number of outputs that you want minus 1 is equal to number of if conditions that you will have to write. Okay. So let's say we have the grade criteria as example 2 में grade criteria let's say is F, B and A. Less than 35 is F, between 35 and 55 is B, and more than 55 is A grade. So now how do we think about it? So let's again think about it using the tree. If marks of students is less than 35, then what should the grade be? If this condition comes out to be true, fail, F, okay. And if the condition is false, then B or A, either can happen. So we'll again put another if condition if marks are less than 55. So if this condition comes out to be true, that means less than 35 is false and more than 35 is true. So my grade is B. And if this also comes out to be false, that means marks are more than 55. Therefore, grade criteria will be A. So in Excel, you cannot write two conditions like this. हम ऐसा नहीं लिख सकते. But if marks is less than 35, less than 55, comma marks more than 35, this condition cannot be written. क्योंकि कॉमा करने के बाद उसको वैल्यू इफ ट्रू लग रहा है. You will see वो पार्ट हाईलाइट हो गया, बोल्ड हो गया है. So also you cannot write a condition like this. 35 less than marks less than 55. ये भी कंडीशन आप नहीं लिख सकते. ओके, तो अगर आपको ऐसा कंडीशन लिखना है तो आपको लूपिंग के फॉर्म में ही जाना पड़ता है. एंड दिस इज हाउ यू आर क्रिएटिंग द लूप. ओके, so now let's try to write. So this is also called as nesting of if condition. Let's write the condition if marks less than 35, then double quotes F, else you start writing another if marks less than 55, then double quotes B, else double quotes A, and then close the bracket till the black bracket closes. Okay, inside bracket will be having a different color, outside one will be black. Here is the entire condition. Everybody note it down for step 2. See if you have understood the logic. क्या है, हॉरिजॉन्टली एक साथ कंडीशन लिखने में समझने में दिक्कत आ सकता है, इसलिए ये ट्री फॉर्मेट है. द ट्री एज वी सेड इज ओनली फॉर कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी. Number of if conditions is number of output minus 1. Done. Okay, students online, have you understood? Have you followed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's do an example on this. If actually is a condition which has got added in the recent Excel only. पुराने versions में नहीं है. अभी I think 2021 Excel में आया है वो ifs. So they have understood that writing logic has become difficult for everybody. मतलब ये is the part of like you will see this next example उसमें logic लिखने में थोड़ी दिक्कत है. तो वो फिर over time they have made it simple. Okay, everyone, are we done? Second case, I have written down the condition. So here is an example which you try. Okay, I'll keep that condition also open on screen. Yeah. So you try to solve this example below. What we have is marks of 2 subjects are being given. अभी 2 subject का marks दिया है student का. If marks of first subject and second subject both are less than 35, you put the grade to be F. अगर first subject में 35 से कम और second में ज़्यादा, so he has failed only in the first subject, so F1. If reverse is the case, marks more than 35 in first but less in second, grade F2. second subject में failed है इसलिए. और दोनों subject में अगर 35 से ज़्यादा है तो grade should be P. So now you have to put these 4 grades in here. ये चारों grade आप यहाँ पे लिख डालो. एक ही formula लिखो, that is, but code all the 4 grades in it and then drag and all answers should come. Make an attempt. After some time I will show the tree on screen. If you want, you can draw the tree on pen and paper. Okay. Any answer? Okay, okay. Then. So done. All grades are there. F, F1, F2, P. F2, F2, F. Correct. Good. So let's write the tree on screen. So first we will check if marks in the first subject are less than 35. Let's say this condition comes out to be true. So marks less than 35, तो grade क्या होना चाहिए? So there are 2 possible grades here. Either the grade can be F or the grade can be F1. But we cannot give the grade unless we come to know कि second subject में बच्चे का score क्या है. If he has scored less than 35 in the second subject also, then we can define that the score is the grade is F. Correct. So grade hoga F. But what if this is false? Then grade नहीं M ये inside if है ना. First condition is false. That means हमें पता है फर्स्ट सब्जेक्ट में बच्चे को 35 से कम मार्क्स मिला है. नाउ सेकंड सब्जेक्ट में लेस देन 35 है तो दोनों में लेस देन 35 हो गया. बट सेकंड में मोर देन 35 मींस फॉल्स ऑफ सेकंड इज लेस देन 35 इन फर्स्ट एंड मोर इन सेकंड. So grade will be F1. Correct. So ये if condition over. Inside if is over. Only three inputs: condition, value true, value false. Now what if first condition is false? That means student has scored more than 35 in the first subject. तो first subject में पास हो गया. But second में क्या हुआ है ये पता नहीं है. So we'll again put another if condition. 35. What if this condition is true? Which grade? Correct. F2. Else दोनों ही सब्जेक्ट में मोर देन 35 मिल गया. So 4 outputs and 3 if conditions required. You can also combine it with and operator भी use कर सकते हैं, but then you will use 3 ands 3 ifs. तो और बड़ा complicated दिखता है वो condition, but that is fine. It is not about how complicated the condition looks like. It is just about getting the output. Okay, you just want to code the logic. So let us write the same in Excel here. Now I am just copying the entire tree in the Excel syntax. If marks 1 is less than 35, then you check if marks 2 is also less than 35. Then grade F, else grade F1. Inside if is closed, so red bracket gets closed. Then you put a comma and then you will see value if true is getting highlighted. So अभी first if का false part लिख रहे हैं. Sorry? This? Oh, you want to try this? Okay, you want to write the condition yourself? Okay, you can write the condition yourself. Yeah. Like this, the second part is just to be shown. Yeah. P F2 F2 F. Correct. Good. Yes. Just complete the remaining part as shown and let me know once you're done. Students online.
Done, sir.
Done. Perfect. So I'll also complete the condition on screen. All you have to do is just follow the tree once you have written it. And again, as I said, tree is only for conceptual clarity. Then drag. Here is the formula for your reference on screen. Okay, should we proceed? Done. Now let's revise everything that we have done till now and
Just a
proceed
second,
to
can you
final.
show it
Sorry.
again?
Sorry.
Can you show that formula again? Just a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. So should I build it again or keep the formula open?
Just keep the formula open for 2 seconds.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, done. Now let's revise whatever we've done since start till here, so that the Excel part will be closed, and then we will get to the financial functions. So everybody come to page number 30. We want to build a small profit and loss statement. Okay, but entire statement should change based on any change in the following 4 inputs. First year sale is given to us as 1000. So you are going to link it. Everybody link it is equal to 1000. Now your sales second year onwards is expected to grow by 25%. So second year onwards, what you do is you put a formula, use the dollar signs wherever required, and estimate the sales for the remaining years. For all the years, cost is going to be 55% of sale. Same thing. आप formula डालिए, dollar sign add कर दीजिए उसको. Then sale minus cost will be profit. Then for tax, whatever is the profit, 35% of it will be taxed if there is a profit. So you need to make use of a if condition here. Okay. Now, and then PBT minus tax will be PAT. Okay. Now for the first scenario, where you will consider 55% of sales as your cost, all years will be profitable. But second scenario is what you have to put in the same cell where the number you put is 55%, you change the cost percent to 125, and all years will be a loss. 100 रुपये के सेल के अगेंस्ट 125 का कॉस्ट ऐसा बोल रहे हैं हम 125%. That means you will obviously have a PBT of minus 25. So accordingly your if condition should correctly consider the tax amount. So what is expected? You tell me last year's profit 2 times. One, considering cost as 55% of sale, and 2, considering cost as 125% of sale. तो सेकंड सिनेरियो में आपको कुछ करना नहीं है अलग, आपको बस ये इनपुट को 125 करना है और मुझे वो नंबर बताना है. ठीक है? Is the requirement clear, everybody? Build the entire P&L. Tell me fifth year profit. First case, considering cost as 55% of sale. Second case, considering cost as 125%. Build it, everybody. Is the question clear? In the meantime, I am just sharing the file with everyone. MSc FE 2020, right? Common. 2020, right? Batch. हाँ 2020. ठीक है. Day 2 file I will put. Okay. Okay. In the meantime, I have shared 2 files with you. Everybody, download those. We will need those files. The next part. Yeah. Second answer is just 55 को 125 करके आंसर आ जाएगा. Considering the idea to check is whether you have modeled the P&L correctly or not. No. मॉडल में कुछ गड़बड़ है. टैक्स में लॉस में you are getting tax from government. That is what the model is saying right now. So you put a if condition in tax. Correct. Then your tax amount, correct. Else 0. Yes. So that 0 you don't put in double quotes. 0 don't put in double quotes. डबल कोट में डालने पे वो स्ट्रिंग हो जाता है. ओके, नंबर्स के लिए डबल कोट चाहिए नहीं, सिर्फ कैरेक्टर्स के लिए चाहिए. करेक्ट, गुड. Make use of the dollar sign, cell referencing. This is a revision of the entire thing that we have done till now. Formula, but not required. No, you can put a macro. Yeah, it's possible. You create a button out there and write the if condition in the VBA. So when you end up using the programming is when generally when you need to do iterations. Excel sheet has limitations of how much iterations you can do. So at that time you get help of programming. What is the profit for year 5? Yes. Online students, any answers? Year 5 profit in scenario 1 and scenario 2. Scenario 1 is 55%. Cost is 55% of sales. Scenario 2 में cost is 125% of sales. For second scenario minus नहीं टैक्स में जीरो हो रहा है क्या आपका सिनेरियो 2 में in second scenario there is a loss so the tax will automatically wind down to nil. Correct, minus 610. Okay, so let's do it here on screen. So next year's sale would be 25% more than last year's sale. So the growth formula is same, whatever is the last year's sale plus 25% of last year's sale. In that 25% we will put with a dollar sign. Then cost is 55% of sales. Again 55% is not going to change, so we'll put a dollar sign. Then sale minus cost will be PBT. And we'll put a if condition to tax. They are saying if there is a profit, then 35% of profit should be taxed. So if there is a profit means profit should be more than 0. So whatever is the logic, we need to put it down in numbers. Correct, 610. तो पीबीटी का 35% आपको टैक्स देना पड़ेगा उसमें टैक्स रेट इज नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज so we will put a dollar sign to that else you define otherwise it will start showing false if you don't define the else so you put else 0 that is your if condition for the tax and PBT minus tax is that. Here's the final answer 714 for last year. Okay, everyone check. Students online, have you followed? Do you need any formula to be shown again? Let me know. I have kept the if condition open on screen for reference. Okay. So we change the second input to 125 and you will see that the tax becomes 0. In case of a loss, tax is not there. As a result, PBT becomes equal to PAT. No, how to model tax loss carry forward. Okay, we will see that 4th case from now. So it is so carry forward loss comes along with MAT and deferred tax. So we have to look at so we have to look at entire thing in one. MAT AMT, no, not very complicated. So we will see it in a simple case how the MAT or AMT gets accounted for and how the credits get calculated for that. Similarly, how loss credits are also added back. Okay, so it needs a little more modeling. 4-5 लाइन और लगता है कैरी फॉरवर्ड लॉस को मॉडल करने के लिए मैट को करने के लिए तो वो एक साथ एक केस में देख लेंगे ठीक है सो दिस वाज द एग्जांपल वाज जस्ट फॉर अस टू रिवाइज व्हाट वी हैव डन अर्लियर ओके पहले जो किया है सेम डन सो नाउ everybody any doubts on this are we clear should we proceed ठीक है so close this file and open file number 2 I have mailed file number 2 to all of you just open the file number 2 do you want a break or we leave 10 minutes early continue no? Sorry yeah so students online do you want a break right now or we leave 5-10 minutes early as in take the break at the end
No break, sir.
okay perfect so let's go to page file number 2 which has been mailed just now okay okay yeah take your time I'm just going to explain some theory in the meantime afterwards we will need it okay everybody download file number 2 and 3 both you download तो देखते हैं कितना आज होता है ऑनलाइन मेल पे आपको भेजा है मैंने फाइल नंबर 2 and just wait for a minute and then we will proceed to financial functions okay so the goal now is to oh so you have a pen drive I will give you a pen drive then give the pen drive here no I will give it in your pen drive मैं आपको पेन ड्राइव में दे देता हूँ ना हाँ तो फिर आप एटलीस्ट पेन ड्राइव से सर्कुलेट कर लो द एक्सरसाइजेस एट द स्टार्ट आर प्रिटी एलिमेंट्री तो आप वो कॉपी कर पाओगे उल्टा कर रहा हूँ क्या मैं नहीं बराबर से हाँ डन डन सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज डे 2 ठीक है ना ये डे 2 का फोल्डर ही मैं आपको दे देता हूँ डे 2 डे 2 फोल्डर डन okay everybody students online do you have the file
Yes, sir.
okay done so let me explain the theory in the meantime you take the file okay you have the file done good so for example here let us say you have some money with you 100 rupees है समझ लीजिए आपके पास और आपको 3 years के लिए इन्वेस्ट करना है and you go to a bank and bank asks you bank gives you 2 schemes okay scheme 1 you will get a 14% return annualize it and scheme 2 you invest 100 rupees today and you will get 150 after 3 years which is better so the problem is data is not comparable या तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि फर्स्ट स्कीम में थर्ड ईयर में कितने पैसे हो जाए या ये पता होना चाहिए कि सेकंड स्कीम में एनुअल रिटर्न कितना है बिकॉज स्कीम 1 is talking about annual return so how to find the future value we will see that in the next time okay so today we will focus on how to find annualized return So for finding annualized return, what you have to do is make use of the IRR, okay, internal rate of return, the theory that you have studied, rate at which NPV becomes 0, okay. That rate basically gives you what is the annualized return you are earning on a stream of cash flows, okay. Now in Excel, finding IRR is simple. First thing you have to do for this case, for example, आप 100 rupees invest कर रहे हैं आज, so we will first create a timeline, okay. So you are investing 100 rupees today, so you will have to show investment amount as minus, it's an outflow, and you are going to get 150 after 3 years, and in between you are not going to get anything, okay. So those years need to be marked with zero cash flow being transacted, okay. The zeros that we have put there help Excel understand that there are years in between, okay. And then you find the IRR as height is equal to IRR and select the entire range and open a decimal point. You will see 14.5% is the annualized return you are getting, okay. Whereas, so I'll calculate it here for this case, 14.47 if you open 2 decimal points. So scheme 1 was giving you 14% return and scheme 2 is giving you 14.47%. Obviously scheme 2 is better, okay. So that way we can decide. So IRR will remain your pivotal decision making tool. As long as IRR is more than my opportunity cost, decision will be accept the investment. If no, then reject the investment. If my IRR is less than my opportunity cost, then there is no point in investing in that particular. Everybody try to solve question on row number 15, 16, 17. आप IRR का फॉर्मूला डालिए और मुझे IRR कितना है ये बताइए. 21%, करेक्ट. जस्ट सिंटैक्स समझने के लिए. You write is equal to IRR, bracket open, and select the entire range. Okay, IRR comes out to 21%. Correct. And our discount rate is 15%. मतलब यही 100 rupees हम यहाँ नहीं डालते, कहीं और डालते तो हमें 15% मिलने वाले थे. So it makes sense to put this money here. So 15% therefore is my opportunity cost. 21% therefore is my IRR. Now you have also studied NPV. Okay, NPV stands for net present value. Formula is present value of future cash flow minus initial investment. Okay, very basic formula of NPV. Now let me explain how Excel function is slightly tricky as far as NPV goes. So here I have cash flows and below I am going to find the NPV. Let's say at a discount rate of 10%. So first we will find PV of cash flows. I am going to follow the basic principles calculation here. So this 100 rupees I will discount at 10% for 0 years. तो 100 rupees का प्रेजेंट वैल्यू तो 100 rupees ही है क्योंकि वो तो हम आज इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. अगले साल का 50 का प्रेजेंट वैल्यू इज 45, 50 afterwards is 41 and the third 50 is 37. All I have done is found out the present value. Okay, so ये PV, this formula is FV upon 1 plus R raised to N. Okay, I have used that formula, but we will get into details of FVPV in the next session. Okay, now NPV का वैल्यू क्या आना चाहिए using basic principle, sum of present value of future cash flow minus initial investment. But initial investment already negative में दिखाया हुआ है तो उसको हम ऐड करते हैं. तो आपका expected answer NPV का आना चाहिए. This is a sum only, yeah, sum of all four, because already first input is shown with a minus sign. But if we go by the exact definition, formula is PV of future cash flow minus initial. Now the problem is 24 क्या बता रहा है. So 24 as a number is not signifying anything. Its sign is more important. That is, it is a positive number. So NPV का conclusion क्या है? Because NPV is more than 0, it's a good investment. Okay. What is the magnitude telling? But if I change this same example and add a 0 here, 1500, 500, 500, तो यहाँ पे आंसर 240 हो जाएगा. तो then you will say कि 240 अच्छा है, क्योंकि आप मैग्नीट्यूड नंबर के हिसाब से देख रहे हैं. Basis magnitude of NPV you are saying. It should not be based on magnitude of NPV, no, it should be based on the returns you are getting. अगर मैं आपको 1000 रुपया दूं और आपको 500, 500 और 400 मिल जाए, let us say, और NPV आपका आएगा 140, so you will say 140 is better than 24, but then your return has changed. So let's change the question. एक काम करते हैं, इसी क्वेश्चन का नीचे एक और केस क्रिएट कर लेते हैं. यहाँ पे 1000 डाल देते हैं और यहाँ पे 500, 500, 500 कर देते हैं. ठीक है, 0, 1, 2, 3 भी लिखना पड़ेगा. तो ये बराबर 243 हो गया. अब ये लास्ट वाला कैश फ्लो मैं आपको थोड़ा कम दे देता हूँ. अब अच्छा कौन सा है? बाय इफ आई गो बाय योर लॉजिक, सेकंड वन. एनपीवी बड़ा है उसका. हाँ, मतलब ये एग्जाम इन्वेस्टमेंट 1 है, ये इन्वेस्टमेंट 2 है. तो मैग्नीट्यूड एनपीवी का अगर हम कंसिडर करें तो सेकंड वन लुक्स बेटर, मैग्नीट्यूड ही ज्यादा है. बट दैट इज अ रॉन्ग आउटकम. व्हाई? आई विल एक्सप्लेन नाउ. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई सेड कि 24 जो है ये बराबर कुछ सिग्निफाई नहीं करता, बिकॉज इफ आई गो बाय द मैग्नीट्यूड लॉजिक देन आई एम नॉट डूइंग द करेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट. Yes, yes, it is. But that physical significance cannot be related directly to investment. That's all I am saying. So how do you understand that 24 then? So what logic you use here is NPV is only telling that if these are the cash flows you are receiving and you are expecting a rate of 10%, you are getting something more than 10%. तो 24 को आपको कैसे पढ़ना है कि आपको समथिंग मोर देन 10% मिल रहा है. ओके, आर यू गेटिंग इट? बेसिकली व्हेन एज लॉन्ग एज एनपीवी इज मोर देन 0, यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग मोर देन द डिस्काउंट रेट. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं डिस्काउंट रेट यहाँ पे 15 कर दूं, तो व्हाट इज 14 टेलिंग? दैट यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग मोर देन 15%. व्हाट इज 5 टेलिंग? you are getting something more than 20%. So the challenge with NPV is, by itself NPV is a standalone independent decision making parameter. आपका क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है इन्वेस्टमेंट में से, कि आपका अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट से ज्यादा मिल रहा है कि नहीं. तो एनपीवी बता रहे हैं हाँ भाई ज्यादा मिल रहा है, बट देयर इज अ इंट्यूटिव क्वेश्चन दैट यू हैव इन माइंड कि कितना मिल रहा है, isn't it? This leaves something to be desired, no? When I conclude के 5.32 means you are getting something more than 20%, then you will obviously say फिर कितना मिल रहा है. So then what you do is you iterate. हाँ, so what I was doing here, right? So you had 10% in both, and you had 24 here and 160, correct? So then now there is a conflict. Okay, so you have to now use another parameter, which is what we are coming to. So 20% में भी आपका conclusion same है, you are getting something more than 20%. At 25%, what is the conclusion? हाँ, मतलब we are getting something less than 25%. So then I will iterate and I will get something like this. Now what can you conclude? That means you are getting that rate. बराबर, more भी नहीं मिल रहा है, less भी नहीं मिल रहा है आपको, उतना ही रेट मिल रहा है 23.375 पे ये एनपीवी 0 हो गया। अब हमारा कंक्लूजन क्या है? कैन आई से यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग मोर देन 23.375? नो, यू आर गेटिंग लेस देन 23.375? नो। So which means you are getting 23.375. So that is IRR. यही थियोरी में किया है, इसलिए IRR का कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं। Why is there IRR as a decision making factor? Because you want to know exactly कि कितना रिटर्न मिल रहा है। Okay? So when you have conflicting projects, you find IRR. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. हाँ। नहीं, उससे ज्यादा मिल रेट नहीं, अमाउंट ना, एनपीवी रेट में नहीं आ रहा है, अमाउंट में आ रहा है। हाँ हाँ विच इज व्हाट एनपीवी इज आल्सो सेइंग ना, जब तब तक एनपीवी पॉजिटिव रहेगा। ओके fair enough, leave the market aside for a minute. If given are the cash flows, 100 आपने डाला, 50 आपको मिला, कितना रेट मिला? How much rate of return have you got? 23.375 no? Then you compare this with the market. उल्टा नहीं होता है। You don't go with opportunity cost and find. You figure out a project and compare it with opportunity cost. Okay? नहीं, ये wrong है। Your return is based on what is your investment, whether it is good or not. ये डिसाइड हम मार्केट रेट से करेंगे। आर यू गेटिंग इट? मार्केट रेट ही अगर आपको चाहिए तो मार्केट में ही पैसा डाल दो, फिर प्रोजेक्ट क्यों कर रहे हो? okay. So the idea is that IRR, what is IRR? There is no formula for IRR as such. Okay, the formula for IRR is rate at which NPV becomes 0. Okay, so वो क्यों है? क्योंकि NPV by itself is not giving you the full explanation of things. Okay, like we said कि यहाँ पे रेट जब 10% था तो NPV 24 है, तो वो क्लियरली हमें एक चीज नहीं बता रहा है कि आपको 10% से कितना ज्यादा मिल रहा है। Your requirement is not earning more than 10%. Your requirement is 10%, minimum required rate of return where you are ready to part your capital with. So IRR therefore is the rate at which NPV becomes 0. So at that rate, you are exactly getting 23.375%. Okay. Therefore उसका नाम theory में IRR डाल दिया है. Now in that conflicting scenario, if I go by the NPV magnitude logic, you will see केस 1 में IRR is 23 and केस 2 में IRR is 19. Okay, so but at 10% rate of discounting, NPV for case 2 was more than IRR. So you will obviously choose the case 1, okay, because returns higher है। तो ये इसलिए हो गया क्योंकि कैश फ्लो का मैग्नीट्यूड चेंज हो गया एंड एनपीवी गेट्स इंपैक्टेड बाय द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ कैश फ्लो। आप ये बोलो कि पहले वाले प्रोजेक्ट में मैं 10 गुने पैसे डाल देता हूँ, तो फिर दोनों में आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट 1000 हो जाएगी। इन विच केस यू विल गेट 500 500 500, whereas case 2 is giving you 500 500 400. So cash flow magnitude should not have any impact on your decision. Therefore IRR is selected. Okay, therefore rate of return remains very important for everything. Okay, आपको वैल्यू मतलब एब्सोल्यूट में अमाउंट इज secondary. Primary will always remain the percentage rate of return. Correct. But at times IRR might not get calculated on. So IRR का genesis formula is NPV. That's why you also need to know how to compute NPV. There are some projects we will see later कि IRR ही निकलता नहीं उसका. Market rate. नहीं, government security plus all type of risk premium. that will get it. Yes, correct, some market. Okay, now let's come back to the example. So 24% was coming out to be my, sorry, 24 is coming out to be my NPV value. Now how do I get it? Using the Npv function in Excel. So just like IRR, there is a function in Excel for finding NPV. First thing it will ask for is the rate, comma, and then it will say value 1. Now if I just select all the cash flows like that I did in IRR, the answer does not match with my basic principles understanding. Okay, तो ये आंसर रॉन्ग हो जाएगा. तो ये इसलिए रॉन्ग हो रहा है क्योंकि एक्सेल का अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या है? When Excel asks for value 1, it means cash flow at the end of year 1, first year के end का cash flow. So it is, so you have to select it from here because first year के end में 50 रुपए आ रहे. If you start from -100, Excel will think that एक 100 रुपये भी हम साल के end में invest कर रहे हैं. So entire cash flow time will be 1, 2, 3, 4 years. ऐसा उसने imagine कर लिया है. But now इसमें क्या हो गया? PV of future cash flow हो गया. Formula of NPV is minus initial investment. So I will have to subtract the initial investment. But ये already negative है, so we'll add it back. So the correct way of applying the Excel NPV function is as shown. Okay, you start from cash flow year 1 to end, and then add back the 0th year cash flow. Okay, so everybody come to row number 33 and find NPV and IRR for this case. Here is the formula how to apply on screen. 33 रो में क्वेश्चन है, वो कैश फ्लोज के लिए आप एनपीवी आईआरआर निकालिए, पेज आईआरआर एंड एनपीवी. एनपीवी इज नहीं प्लस 0 क्लियर भी करना है, -4.4 करेक्ट. कितना आया? -4, 13.5 IRR, correct. So let's do it on screen. NPV rate is 15%, and then you start from year 1 to last. Remember, it has nothing to do with positive negative cash flows. एक्सेल के हिसाब से सिर्फ टाइमिंग का डिफरेंस आपको उसको एक्सप्लेन करना है, नॉट द पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव. Correct, it's negative. If you do by IRR also, not invest. IRR should be more than discount rate. Correct. So NPV less than 0, so reject the project, and then you do IRR. IRR less than cost of capital or discount rate, therefore reject the project. Correct. Here is the function for NPV. Done, everybody? So we've just looked at syntax and revised the basic theory. Now let's apply. So here onwards we look at decision making examples. Yeah, any doubts everybody? No. NPV less than 0 and IRR will always be less than discount. But it can happen so that NPV, IRR is positive and NPV is negative. Reject, because IRR का positive negative का criteria नहीं है ना decision making में. Positive and NPV negative. ये केस IRR positive है, NPV negative है. With respect to discount rate, it will always be same. NPV negative, exactly. तो अगर NPV negative है तो IRR discount rate से कम ही होगा. It's an indifference point, correct. Okay, everybody come to page number 1 now. Now what you have to do is you have to figure out whether this was a good investment or not. Okay, so this is an example on investment decision making. Okay, एंड लास्ट टाइम वी हैड डिस्कस के फाइनेंशियल मॉडल क्या है, इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजन मेकिंग टूल है. ओके, तो हम एक छोटा सा, इट्स नॉट अ मॉडल बट छोटा सा एनालिसिस करके देख रहे हैं कि अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट है कि नहीं. हियर इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ मिस्टर ए. ए इन्वेस्टेड इन गोल्ड. 0 ईयर में ए हैज इन्वेस्टेड अ लाख रुपीज. तब गोल्ड का भाव चल रहा था 30,000 रुपया पर 10 ग्राम. ईयर 1 में अनदर 1.5 लाख रुपीज ही हैज इन्वेस्टेड. तब गोल्ड का भाव चल रहा है 33,000. और फिर ही हैज नॉट डन एनीथिंग. और 5th ईयर में इन्होंने अपना सारा गोल्ड बेच दिया. तब भाव चल रहा है 50,000. इफ ही हैड इन्वेस्टेड दिस टू मनी 1 lakh at 0 year and 1.5 lakh at 1 year in an FD, he would have received 8% return. Was his investment better than FD? You have to conclude. Which basically means कि उसका rate of return क्या है और वो 8% से ज्यादा है क्या. तो आप rate of return निकालिए. Use cell referencing wherever possible. Some numbers you will have to hard code. Given data तो आपको hard code करना पड़ेगा, तो वो कर दीजिए. This is a reference example of the entire financial modeling that we are going to do. Basic decision making analysis आपको करना है. आप brown और yellow cells fill कीजिए. Is the question clear, students online?
So just a question.
Yeah.
How do you apply this for assets that are expected to give returns for eternity, like something like your rental income from real estate or something?
Sorry. Again, assets that are, and I missed beyond that.
Assets that will give you dividend incomes or something like that. Like for example, you're buying a real estate
Assets that
property.
are
Suppose it's a small shop or a small apartment or something.
assets that are giving you dividend income for infinity, you are saying?
Infinity, yeah, infinity time, yes.
No, you have to use NPV in that case.
Exactly, but sir, NPV के लिए I'll need to give cash flows annually, right?
Correct,
So,
cash flow annuity.
so then how many years will I have to give the cash flows for?
Infinite. But that you cannot do using the NPV function. That is what you are saying, right?
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Correct. So then there are mathematical models like if your growth of cash flow is constant, then you can use what is called as the dividend discount model to estimate the annuity. So in time value of money, you must have studied present value of annuity to perpetuity. So you have to use
Yes.
that formula, A by R.
So, sir, I'm aware of this one model called Gordon's model.
Correct, Gordon growth
I'm
model. Yes.
wondering if that will apply to everything that gives eternity returns, like not only
Yes.
dividends as such.
Correct. So when do you apply Gordon model? So you apply Gordon model when you from a time frame when you expect the cash flow to grow by a fixed rate. So growth rate आपका constant हो जाना चाहिए. So for example, let's say I'm looking at a real estate which is going to give me say higher return over the next 10 years, but after that it will be mature and its cash flows will keep on growing at say inflation rate 5%. So 10 years hence I will apply the Gordon growth model. For the remaining 10 years I will estimate the cash flow separately. And then on that entire amount I will use IRR.
Okay, got
So
it.
the cash estimate will be for 10 years. 10 plus infinite, 10 plus terminal value as you will call using the Gordon growth model.
Yeah, correct.
Correct. So we'll see examples like that. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Correct. Good. Is it a good? Is it a good investment? Correct. हाँ, NPV positive number है. Correct. Okay. Let's do it on screen. Everyone. Got it? No? Okay. Online students, any answers? Let's do it here on screen. Okay. Now you know that you have to find IRR. Okay. Returns आपको निकालना है. और अगर आप रिटर्न निकालते हैं तो आप डिसीजन ले पाएंगे. You'll be able to conclude. Okay. 8% से ज़्यादा IRR है तो अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है, वरना नहीं है. Now the problem is for finding IRR, what you need is cash flows. Okay, and financial modeling is all about estimating cash flows. क्योंकि IRR एस्टिमेट करना क्या है, वो तो टूल निकाल के दे देगा आपको एक्सेल. So where the role of analyst will remain is in estimating the cash flow. Okay, that's where your business understanding, basic transaction understanding is required. So let's see it here. First of all, let's add the given data. 0 year में आपने 1 लाख इन्वेस्ट किया है और year 1 में आपने 1.5 लाख इन्वेस्ट किया है. Correct. So I put down the data. Second, third, fourth year में क्या हुआ है? There is no transaction, so 0. और fifth year में सामान आपने बेचा और पैसे आपको मिले. But how much money have you earned? That is what you will have to find out. So let's find that out by using the other data. Other data is price is given to us. Price का numbers डाल लेते हैं. Ideally you can reference it, okay, but we will add that complexity going forward. जैसे जैसे analysis का depth बढ़ता जाएगा. So 1 lakh rupees we have invested in year 0, and price of gold is 30,000 at that time. Consider 10 gram as 1 unit. So how many units of gold you must have received in year 0? Correct, 33 grams or 3.33 units. 1 lakh divided by 30,000. So I've converted. You can do it in grams also. That is also fine. Thus we have just changed 10 gram as 1 unit. But you will receive the units. So let us put a minus sign at the start to show the number in positive. पैसा गया आपका और यूनिट्स आपको मिले. So this positive negative sign convention will remain critical for our analysis. Same formula you copy next year. 0 year में आपको 3.3 यूनिट्स मिले और year 1 में आपको और 4.55 यूनिट्स मिले. So in the 5th year, how many units will you sell? Sum of these. So let us sum of these. So for sum, you can add the two cells or you can use the sum function as shown. So 7.88 units you are going to sell. At what rate are you going to sell? 50,000. So how much money are you going to get? Multiply these two. 3,93,000 is what your incoming cash flows are. Therefore, what is your IRR? So now you will see that we have converted this example into a stream of cash flows, and then IRR is helping us rationalize that stream. Okay, ये कैश फ्लो एब्सोल्यूट में पैसे का मैग्नीट्यूड से आप कुछ डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि मार्केट में एवरीथिंग दैट इज अवेलेबल is always available as a percentage annual return. All benchmarks. What can you do with your money? You can put it in a saving bank account, you will get 4%. Put it in an FD, you will get 6%. Debt mutual fund 8%. Equity mutual fund 12%. Invest in gold 9%. So you will see these are percentage returns that are always given to us. So benchmark is always comparable annual return. So IRR is the tool which can help you translate a cash flow into percentage annual return, and then it becomes a comparable. That's why IRR has a significance in the market. So financial theory ज़्यादा कुछ हम देखेंगे नहीं पूरे whatever time I am engaging with you. It's just the application of the same in use cases. Yeah, got it. 0 आ रहा था. Okay, then yes, students online, have you got the IRR as 10.8?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So it's a good investment because correct, because हम discount rate को IRR is more than discount rate. हमें चाहिए था 8%, यहाँ मिल रहा है 10.5%. Okay, got it. Everybody, should we proceed? Now come to page 2. Okay, now in page 2 you will see cash flows are being given. But the problem with the cash flows is they are not annual. 100 rupees आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, 200 दिन बाद 40 रुपए आ रहे हैं, 450 दिन बाद another 40 रुपए आ रहे हैं. So if I use the IRR function, Excel will assume that all cash flows are annual, and it will give 22% as annual return, or it will assume all cash flow to be monthly, periodic. So IRR function में क्या है, implicit assumption ये है कि equidistant cash flow, और डिस्टेंस जो आप डिसाइड करो वो एनुअल हो मंथली हो, बट इन दिस केस इट्स नॉट करेक्ट एंड फर्दर यू वांट एनुअल रिटर्न बिकॉज कंपेरेबल इज एनुअल। 25% के साथ हम कंपेयर करेंगे, ये 25% तो एनुअल है। So in that case you have to make use of another function which they have created which is called as XIRR, the extended IRR. So they also understood कि हाँ ठीक है IRR में ये shortcoming है। So XIRR function when you write is equal to XIRR, it will say value and date. So let me explain little about date first. Let us say I have written a date here, just observe, no need to write, and the date has gone to right. First day पे we had discussed के when I write a number it goes to right and character remains to left. Date right में क्यों चला गया? Maybe it is some kind of a number. So I will just change it to number format. So answer आ रहा है 44,562. What is that? I don't know. I will write 2 Jan. Now my Excel is following month, day, year. आज अप्रैल है 4 1 तारीख 2022. It takes basically Excel takes the system date. So this date that I have written is not 1st Feb, but it is 2nd Jan. Okay. So 2nd Jan को भी number में convert करते हैं. So it is 44,563. So इस हिसाब से if I write 44,561, what should the date be? 31st of prior year. 31st of prior year. Let us convert this to date format. It works. Okay, so that is why Excel has become such an important tool in finance. एक तो फाइनेंस में हमें टाइम और पैसा दोनों का रिक्वायरमेंट है, और इन्होंने क्या कर दिया, टाइम को नंबर फॉर्मेट में डाल दिया. तो लाइक दिस इफ यू से 1 इज ऑल्सो अ नंबर, वो करस्पॉन्ड्स टू 1st Jan of 1900. 0 is also a number. 0 Jan of 1900. What is 0 Jan? Opening balance. 1st January का सुबह का 12 बजे is 0. Okay. So what if I want to analyze something in 1800 century? Does not go to the right. ये Excel को समझ में नहीं आता. Left में रह गया. It has become like a character. Okay. So any date after 1st Jan of 1900 is nothing but a number in Excel. उसका फायदा क्या हुआ? So I can easily add dates. Let us say 365 add कर देते. It will give me next year's date. I can subtract dates, multiply, divide. Any kind of formula can be created. One of the outputs is XIRR. Okay. नहीं, it was earlier, but Excel में नहीं था. वो तो Windows में था वो Y2K का बोल. Yes, major problem for all Windows machines only. But then they worked it out. Because Excel timeline is starting at 1/1/1900. The 0 for Excel, मतलब माइनस के नंबर्स को उन्होंने रिलेट नहीं किया हुआ है. So any date prior to that is not recognized or not understood by Excel, but any date after that has been now coded in the function. So इसका फायदा ये हो गया कि अब आपके लिए अलग अलग फंक्शन है like XIRR. So when it says values, select all the values, and when it says dates, you can select either the date line above or you can also take these numbers because you know number is nothing but date. सिर्फ आप अगर ये नंबर लेते हैं तो फर्क सिर्फ इतना हो रहा है, एक्सेल ये एग्जांपल इन डेट्स के साथ सॉल्व कर रहा है. 1900 के वो डेट्स लेके वो सॉल्व कर रहा है. ओके, डजंट मैटर टू द यूजर. ओके, so that is why I was trying to explain to you date and number is same. Okay, so here's the formula. Now the benefit of XIRR is it always gives you annual return. Okay, so it makes things comparable. So when am I going to use XIRR? When I have non-annual data. Annual data है तो दोनों का आंसर मोर और लेस सेम आता है. मोर और लेस आई एम सेइंग इज बिकॉज बीच में लीप ईयर आ सकता है, इसलिए डेसिमल में आंसर बदल जाता है. XIRR gives you more accurate answer by considering that leap year. IRR does not take into account leap year. Quarterly or so, yes, exactly. Or you are having mutual funds where you invested money, आज किया 6 महीने बाद किया, तो फिर एनुअल नहीं है टाइम फ्रेम वापस. तो इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए कई बार XIRR का बहुत ज्यादा यूज है. इंस्टीट्यूशंस के लिए ज्यादा नहीं है क्योंकि या तो डेटा क्वार्टरली होता है या एनुअल होता है. ओके, सो रूल देयरफॉर इज नॉन एनुअल डेटा यूज XIRR एज अ टूल. ठीक है, तो सिंटैक्स एज शोन, बाकी सिंटैक्स सेम है IRR XIRR में. माइनस फॉर आउटफ्लो, जीरो फॉर, इसमें जीरो देने का जरूरत ही नहीं, बीच का डेट्स आपने नहीं दिया तो एक्सेल को चलता है. Everybody come to page number 4 now. Let's apply couple of examples and then we will close. General question: what is the return expected in stock markets investing in India? So we will use Nifty as a benchmark. When so हम assume करते हैं कि जब निफ्टी शुरू हुआ, लेट अस से तभी हमने पैसे डाल दिए निफ्टी में आज तक. ओके, आज I have taken is 31st August 2021, or you can take even today's date. Today's value of Nifty is around 17,500. ओके, तो यहाँ पे हम डेट चेंज करते हैं. लेट्स पुट टुडेज डेट. एवरीबडी फर्स्ट लुक एट योर सिस्टम्स डेट फॉर्मेट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली पुट द डेट. तो मेरा सिस्टम में है मंथ डे ईयर, तो मैं डालता हूँ मंथ डे ईयर. अगर आपका डे मंथ ईयर है तो आप डालिए 1/4/2022. ठीक है, और यहाँ 17,000 के जगह कर लीजिए 17,500. Now we are saying Nifty started in 1995. So it is an index number. So the base index started at 1000. तो समझ लीजिए हमने 1995 में 1000 रुपये इन्वेस्ट किया होता तो आज वो 17,500 होता. How much is my annualized return? Question to you is how much is my annualized return? This is the application of XIR. So can you find and tell me the XIR? जब निफ्टी शुरू हुआ तब हमने 1000 रुपये इन्वेस्ट किए और आज वो बन गए हैं 17,500. तो मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग डेट एंडिंग डेट दिया है और कितना पैसा डाला और कितना मिला ये भी दिया है. आप XIRR निकालिए और मुझे बताइए. सो बेसिकली दिस इज द बेनिफिट. ओके, हाउ मच इज द एनुअलाइज्ड रिटर्न? करेक्ट, गुड, 11%. करेक्ट. इफ यू आर गेटिंग नम, इन्वेस्टमेंट को माइनस डालना पड़ेगा. रिमेंबर, IRR और XIRR will always follow inflow positive, outflow negative. पहले वैल्यू और डेट, आंसर आ गया नम. ओके, सो एक्सेल इज सेइंग कि नंबर में गलती हो गई. ओके, अगर मैं टाइपिंग में मिस्टेक करता तो ये बोलता नेम, दैट इज नेम जो मैंने डाला है वो रॉन्ग है. लेकिन अभी उसको नेम समझ में आ रहा है, लेकिन हमने जो नंबर डाले वो रॉन्ग है. रॉन्ग क्या है? 1000 रुपया आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो साइन इज माइनस, पैसा जा रहा है. अदरवाइज उसको लग रहा है 1000 रुपया भी आ रहा है और 17,000 भी आ रहा है तो इनफाइनाइट रिटर्न है, कुछ डाला नहीं और पैसे आ ही जा रहे हैं. So 11.44% is your annualized return if you had invested in Nifty since inception. Inception date of Nifty is 3rd November 1995. So XIRR therefore becomes very useful, especially when you are looking at investors sub-period investments. Okay, everybody check. Have you got the answer? Any doubts? Students online, have you got the answers? हाँ, डेट फॉर्मेट आप चेक कर लीजिए. आपका सिस्टम का फॉर्मेट के हिसाब से आपको डेट डालना है. 1 अप्रैल आप डाल दीजिए उसमें. यस, बट वो कंट्रोल पैनल में जाके चेंज करना पड़ेगा. बेसिकली विंडोज सेटिंग करते वक्त आपने इंग्लिश, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, इंडिया या यूएस कौन सा लिया है उसके हिसाब से वो फॉर्मेट आता है व्हाइल यू आर इंस्टॉलिंग विंडोज. क्योंकि उसको लग रहा है 4 जनवरी है आज. हाँ, तो यू पुट 1/4/2022. नहीं, वो मत चेंज करो आप. नहीं, वो पहला जो डेट है आप वंस यू ओपन द एक्सेल इट विल बी कमिंग इन द राइट फॉर्मेट, राइट. 11/3 आ रहा है ना, और आपका वो फॉर्मेट क्या है? हाँ, DDMA में, हाँ तो वो भी चेंज करना पड़ेगा। 3/11/1995 11.15 you are getting. इलेवन थ्री इज 3rd November निफ्टी स्टार्टिंग डेट, वो बराबर डाला है ना आपने? नहीं 11th मार्च नहीं है वो, November 3 है वो। इंसेप्शन डेट ऑफ निफ्टी इज November 3, नॉट 11th मार्च। नहीं ऐसा नहीं होगा, दोनों में सेम ही आता है। लेट मी सी। नहीं, और ये सिस्टम का क्या है आपका सेटिंग? हाँ डे मंथ ईयर है, तो ये रॉन्ग हो गया। हाँ नहीं, ये डे मंथ ईयर है ना, जैसे आपका सिस्टम है, तो उधर गड़बड़ हो गई है। डे मंथ ईयर, हाँ इधर जाइए, इसमें ये इसको क्या लग रहा है, ये भी डे मंथ ईयर ले रहा है, तो इसको लग रहा है 4 जनवरी, इसलिए आपका और मेरा आंसर अलग है। मेरा 11.44 है, हाँ तो आप वो 1422 ही डालिए। इन योर केस इट इज करेक्ट। ये वाली सिस्टम में ही सिर्फ उल्टा है थोड़ा डिस्प्ले। हाँ वी विल इन्वेस्ट बिकॉज एफडी रिटर्न तो खैर खैर वो रिस्क क्लास अलग है। द आइडिया वाज टू शो यू के ये 6 नवंबर 3 करेक्ट, November 3 है और आज का डेट 4 है, 1 अप्रैल है। और ये डिफरेंस बेसिकली इज शोइंग यू द रिस्क प्रीमियम। ओके, इक्विटी में आप इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो उसमें जो रिस्क है उसके लिए एक्स्ट्रा कितना आपको रिटर्न मिलता है, तो दैट रिटर्न डिफरेंस इज देयर। सो इफ आई एम ओनली कंपेयरिंग इट, यू कैन से इट इज वर्थ इन्वेस्टिंग, बट खैर उसमें रिस्क का पर्सपेक्टिव अभी मिक्स नहीं किया है। ओके, लेट्स डू अ एग्जांपल एंड देन प्रोबेबली वी विल क्लोज। हियर इज एन एग्जांपल, एवरीबॉडी कम टू पेज 5। क्लोज। ये एक कर लेते हैं तो क्या क्या हो जाएगा, अगले क्लास में पेज 3 से चालू कर देंगे। इसके अगला जो है वो सिमिलर एग्जांपल है, दैट इज फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस। ओके, बट 5th केस कर लेते हैं। एसआईपी यू ऑल नो, सिस्टमैटिक रिकरिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट आप कर रहे हैं। समझ लीजिए दिस पर्सन हैज इन्वेस्टेड इन 1 ईयर एसआईपी, 1 साल के लिए हर महीना उसने 10,000 रुपया डाला। तो C1 में आप डालिए एसआईपी अमाउंट पर मंथ और D1 में डालिए 10,000, so दैट रेफरेंसिंग हो जाएगा। एसआईपी अमाउंट पर मंथ और डी सेल में डालिए 10,000, so यू कैन रेफर फ्रॉम दैट सेल नाउ। ठीक है, हर महीने 10,000 रुपया डाल रहे, अब 1 जनवरी से लेके दिसंबर तक डाल रहे 2021 में। ठीक है, एनएवी ऑफ द म्यूचुअल फंड इज, जैसे स्टॉक का प्राइस होता है वैसे म्यूचुअल फंड का एनएवी होता है, सो प्राइस ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड इज कॉल्ड एज एनएवी। तो ये आपकी परचेस एनएवी है रिस्पेक्टिव मंथ में। तो 1 साल आपने मंथली 10,000 डाला, फिर एसआईपी बंद कर, स्टॉप, बट यू डिड नॉट विड्रॉ मनी, पैसे निकाले नहीं आपने, पैसे निकाले आपने अगले साल के एंड में 31 दिसंबर 2022 को आपने पैसे निकाले, तब आपका एनएवी चल रहा है 13.5। ये नंबर आप डाल लीजिए यहाँ पे। अब अगर यही पैसे आप एफडी में डालते तो आपको 12% मिलते हैं। ये स्कीम अच्छी है कि नहीं है, ये डिसाइड कर। फाइन। हाँ तो वही, वो डिपेंडेंसी खत्म करनी है ना, क्वांटिफाई कर दीजिए। इज दिस अ गुड स्कीम? ऑल डेटा इज बीइंग गिवन। एग्जिट एनएवी इज 13.5, नीचे रेड, ये दिया है मैंने अभी। 1 साल बाद आप एग्जिट कर रहे, सारा आपका म्यूचुअल फंड बेच रहे 13.5 पे 10,000 फॉर 1 ईयर, देन वी आर कीपिंग द मनी फॉर 1 full year and withdrawing everything. Second year में no investment is happening. How much is the return? Correct. 16% is correct. Good. So again, we will do the same thing. First, we will find the number of units. 10,000 you are investing monthly, and rate of investment is 10 per unit. How many units of mutual fund you are getting? 1,000. So we'll fix the investment amount, and at the end, you are selling everything. So add all the units. बेचेंगे क्या? सारे यूनिट्स बेचेंगे जो हमें हर मंथ मिले. So keep cursor in the last cell and press Alt and is equal to sign. Alt and is equal to sign is shortcut to add the sum function. Left वाला Alt use कर लीजिए. Sometimes on some laptop right Alt will not use work. Left side का Alt or is equal to sign. And then cash flows. First 12 cash flows are minus. Correct. You can either take this 10,000 or you can calculate NAV into units. तो वैसे भी 10,000 ही आने वाला है. हाँ, उस तरह से भी लिंक किया तो भी चलेगा. माइनस साइन. Now there is a convention. सेम ही आएगा. Correct. Convention in finance is to show negative numbers in brackets. Okay. And then at the end, positive value. 11,000 units at 13 rupees per unit. That will give you 1,50,000, 149.99. And therefore the rate of return is X IRR. Remember, because non-annual data है, monthly investment है. अगर आप IRR यूज करते हैं तो एक तो IRR के लिए फिर थोड़ा सेटिंग चेंज करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बीच में जो 11 महीने जा रहे हैं वो दिखाया ही नहीं यहाँ पे. But you can put the 11 months with zero cash flow and you can get the monthly IRR, which you will again have to annualize. तो वो complicated procedure है. उससे अच्छा है कि आप एक IRR यूज कर लीजिए. 16.43%. X IRR इसलिए क्योंकि data is non-annual. Whenever you have non-annual data, make use of X IRR. 16.43. Is this better investment than FD? Yes, because returns are more than 12%. Okay, everybody check. Online students, have you got the same numbers?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So, as practice, I have given another example which you can try later. What I have done here is, I have collected Nifty's monthly closing price. Yeah. Okay. So you can practice this last page example later. इसमें मैंने निफ्टी का मंथली क्लोजिंग प्राइस दिया है सिंस 1st Jan 2010 अप टू 1st June 2021. वी आर सेइंग कि हमने 10-11 साल की निफ्टी में अगर एसआईपी कर ली होती, 5,000 रुपये अगर हम हर महीने डाले होते, और अगर अगस्त 2021 को हमने सारा एग्जिट किया होता, तो हमारा एनुअलाइज्ड रिटर्न कितना होगा. So in the previous example, we were looking at investment over one period only. 95 का एक बार इन्वेस्ट किया और अब, but that is not so practical, right? आप practically life में क्या है, आपको income monthly आएगा, फिर आप monthly invest करोगे, तो you want to find the SIP return in Nifty maybe over the last 10-15 years and try to see whether that comes in similar line. So this example is similar to page number 5 case. Okay, so you can try it later. Done. So next class we will start with case number 3. Okay, ये third file जो है उससे start करते हैं. So you keep that file with you. We'll make a model. Okay, and then we'll try to structure it better in the next cases. Done. For all years up to June 21 और last August में सारा भेज दिया. So let's close here and let's catch up the next class. 16.43 is correct. Good. So chat window was not open for me, so I wasn't able to see it. ठीक है. Any doubts, everybody? Okay, then let's close here. I'll stop the recording. Let's catch up next Friday and we'll continue.